Think of any fighter throughout MMA history. Literally any single fighter. Got one locked in? Jon Jones has failed more drug tests than they have. Despite having 4 different PED failures, more eye pokes than anyone else, and being a bigger opportunist than prime heel Edge, Jon Jones still has like 7 fans left. It's kind of crazy. Him being put in the GOAT discussion always annoys me, but it's for a number of different reasons. Everyone loves a good hit piece, so if you'll indulge me, this is why Jon Jones' legacy is trash. I know I just joked about it, but seriously, there have been entire fight camps with less drug test failures than Jon Jones. Watching Nowitzki and Rogan run PR for Jon after drug test failure number 2 or 3, I've literally lost count. It really changed how I view Joe. Listen, he didn't cheat. This drug test failure was a result of his last drug test failure, which he was also innocent of. Or hey guys, maybe he cheated, I don't know, I'm just throwing out that possibility. This isn't a Joe Rogan video, but while I'm here, his interview with Jon after the Stipe fight, I'm not gonna call it shameless or blatant glazing.
I'm with the greatest of all time, Jon Jones.
I'm just gonna imply it.
No doubt, you're the greatest of all time now. It's cemented, it's in history.
Quick reminder, this is what he sounded like after TJ tested positive for the first time.
It taints his legacy. It just does. There's no way around it. When you get caught cheating, which is, this stuff is, there's no way it's not cheating. I mean, this is just cheating. Right? I mean, this isn't any accident. It taints your legacy.
In the words of the GOAT, UFC PR machine crazy powerful. It's not like I'm against a fight promotion promoting fights, but seriously, Jon has to have pictures. That's my only explanation. He has to have pictures. Something else that drives me up a waller is eye pokes. I mean, sure, they're annoying and they might cause vision damage for the rest of the fight, but to Jon, that's just a bonus. Jon used eye pokes to counter pressure. It's actually a Wing Chun technique. But I don't think I should have to tell you this, they're obviously illegal. In addition to that, anytime Jon started to get tired or someone put a pace on him, he would poke his opponent in the eye, knowing they'll call a stop to the action and he'll get a free minute to recover. Jon knows he'll never get a point taken, and guess what? He's never had a point taken for eye pokes his entire career, to my knowledge. To maybe a casual viewer, this doesn't seem like much, but these are massively important moments in fights, and getting a free break, mitigating pressure, and getting to potentially damage their vision, sign bones up every day and twice on Sunday. My detest for Jones goes beyond drug test failures and eye pokes, though. Jon is a prime example of an opportunist. For one, let's remember the big fights he ducked or priced himself out of. He refused to fight Francis Ngannou. In fact, he went on a whiny Twitter rant the night Ngannou won, and suspiciously was ready to fight the second Francis left the company. He wouldn't fight Stipe in his prime, only after getting retired by Francis. Did I mention Jon refused to fight him as well? That Miocic fight where Stipe is walking into the cage with a cane is just the worst title defense I've ever seen. That Stipe fight's probably the worst title defense in UFC history. He refused to fight Anderson Silva, who he would have beaten, just for the record. And he still, to this day, has a crippling fear of Tom Aspinall. Just a quick reminder, Jon would rather create AI images of him beating Aspinall than actually fight Aspinall. When I call him an opportunist, it's things like breaking Glover's arm like 5 seconds into their fight. I mean, it's not illegal and it's Glover's fault for putting himself there, but still, Jones got to fight a 25-minute fight against a dude with one arm. When I say opportunist, it's the fights he refused to take, but it's also things like fighting DC, who was a decade older than him, giving up 12.5 inches in reach and upwards of 6 inches in height, and Jones still couldn't stop testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Put simply, guy was heavyweight-sized, fighting a lot of middleweight-sized guys, and has failed more drug tests than any fighter in MMA history. He might actually be tied with Josh Barnett, but nonetheless. He's a very good fighter with or without all the cheating. I completely acknowledge that, and so does everyone else. My point is A, he's not the GOAT, and B, if his career has this many asterisks, losing to Reyes, arguably losing to Santos, losing to Prime Gustafsson, testing positive every single time he was slated to fight DC, how much worse would his career look without being a steroid cheat? Could he actually beat DC on fair ground? Would he have ever gotten through Rumble, who would have been trouble for Jon with steroids? How does he transition to heavyweight without a lifetime supply of gear in him already? These are all obviously hypothetical, but I'm asking questions. His whole legacy is a stack of dimes. And what kind of annoys me is that for the most part, fans tend to overlook all of this and just focus on him ducking Aspinall. Jon ducking Tom, and he absolutely did, is just part of Jones's overall pattern. Like, this is just what he does. He refuses to give up an advantage in literally any aspect. For instance, he's even said he would never fight DC at heavyweight because of his size and strength.
My greatest chance of losing would be to a guy like Daniel Cormier. With giving him a power and strength advantage over me, it just doesn't make sense. Right now I make light heavyweight very easily, and it just would make no sense to fight a guy who I think technically on your level, and to give him a size advantage. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Like, he openly admits he prefers dehydrated husk DC and still got busted with steroids every time they were scheduled to fight. And that's kind of what I mean when I say Jon only takes fights he knows he can win.
If you got a possible DV call, domestic violence call.
If Tom, knock on wood, had shredded his knee and was visibly not the same athlete anymore, Jon would sign up to fight him tomorrow. It's the reason as the quote-unquote heavyweight champion he was calling out Jamal Hill and Alex Pereira. Because that's exactly who Jon is.